H2O, the water. All right, today we're here with your host H2O Ron, and it's negative and the positive. And today we're here with what's your name and where you from?
My name is Nicole Sallis, and I'm from Waterloo, Iowa.
Okay, what made you want to start doing your profession?
So I started in the fashion industry when I was a kid. My grandmother taught me how to sew, and so I started as a designer sewing for my Barbie dolls, which took me to college. Graduated from Iowa State, and then moved to New York City. I don't know. I think it probably speaks to my personality to the fact that I went to probably one of the most difficult, most competitive markets. But I did, whatever. And so, yeah, I spent about 20 years in New York City, first 10 years working in fashion and styling, and the last 7, 8 years working in trend forecasting, which has to do with like global color and consumer insights.
Okay, and who are some of your influences?
One of my biggest influences is my grandmother. She, like I said, taught me how to sew. She was a business owner when I was really young. So I spent a lot of my early years downtown Waterloo in her shop. I was watching her deal with clients. I was watching her fit clients, style clients, do fashion shows. And so she was one of my biggest influencers. And when I got the opportunity, I felt like, I could get discovered or whatever I thought was in New York for me. As soon as I got the opportunity, I went ahead and went to New York. Another one of my biggest influencers is one of my mentors. His name is Willie Esco. Willie is someone that really took a interest in young designers. Like he
Okay,
really respected the craft.
yeah,
And so while he gave me opportunities from a styling perspective whenever we were doing photo shoots for his clothing brand, he also really wanted me to develop as a designer. So he gave me a lot of critical information that I needed that I didn't have coming out of college. That's one thing I don't talk as much about is that when I got out of college, I had a certain amount of knowledge, and then I moved to New York and there was a gap. I didn't have everything that I needed. And so what happened with that is I wasn't able to get a job.
wow,
And so there was a whole year that I actually graduated from college and had to work for free. And Willie Esco was one of the people that took me under his wing and was like, yo, let me teach you about tech packs. Let me teach you about the foundations of what you need to actually get in the industry.
okay,
Because there's a way to learn, and then there's like what you actually need to get in it.
right.
You know what I mean? So he was one of the people that really taught me that. So he's a big influence too.
Okay, that's what's up. Shout out to him. Okay, so what is something that you would tell your younger self?
Wow, something I would tell my younger self. I would tell my younger self it's so many things.
It's a real
It's
question.
so many things. I would tell my younger self. I would first tell her that the opinions of other people don't matter that much.
Right.
I think sometimes we are so moved by acceptance and validation. And I fell into that trap so many times in my life. I've just recently got out of that trap. I think that when we go through transitions
Yeah.
and we grow and we shift and we're like feeling insecure within ourselves, and sometimes we reach outward to get that, hey, I'm doing the right thing. Hey, you love it. Hey, give me the likes. Hey, give me the validation, when really we need to go inward to figure out, because the answer is actually it's inside of you.
Yeah.
And it's that spirit of God that's in you, and like your purpose is inside of you, and everything that I needed was already inside of me. And
Right.
so the idea of like reaching outside of myself for the opinions of other people or validation was just never worth it. It was a waste of energy.
Yep. That's a fact too. Good advice. Okay, so what is something you have coming up in the near future?
Something I have coming up in the near future that I'm super excited about is I have a new color analysis tool that's coming out. It's based in color psychology and human psychology. So it really teaches you how to use color for influence. So a lot of people don't realize that color is directly connected to, like, it speaks instantly to the brain. So 90% of SNAP decisions are connected to color and color association and color psychology. So I really want to show people and give people the information that they need to create the influence that they want to have, not only within themselves, but with other people.
Okay.
And that's coming out here within the next couple of weeks. And I've been working on it for months. It incorporates AI. It's a virtual platform that anybody can use, men, women, white, black. No, it doesn't matter how old you are, or your undertone, skin tones. Anybody can use it and benefit from it. And I'm excited about it. It's called ICA, the Influential Color Analysis.
Okay, that's what's up. Okay, so where can the people find your merch and your brand?
So I do have a book out that's called The Art of Showing Up in Style. You can find that on Amazon. You can also go to my website, www.nicolesallis.com, and you can find out all the information on where I'm going to be, what products I have out, what services that I'm have out, where my next leadership cohort is going to be. All of those things are going to be on my website. So go check that out.
All right, that's a good job. Okay, now it's discussion time, and the reason why I wanted you on the Negative and the Positive podcast, this is why I chose you to be on the interview, because I've been seeing you do so many things in the community, like fashion shows, poetry, like stylish, so like doing things outside of Waterloo and traveling all over the place. I just wanted to know if you can let the people know how I feel to be in that space, to be able to do those things.
Well, what I would say is that thank you, first of all, for inviting me and just acknowledging my grind in terms of what I'm trying to do. I think that I am a very purpose driven person, but I don't have it all together.
Right.
So I would say that a lot of what you're seeing is me building as I fly. I think, like I said, the advice that I would give to my younger self is the advice I would give to me now. Instead of focusing on the outward, it's like, how do I focus on the inward things that I want to accomplish in my life? And for me, I see myself as a global brand. I don't see myself as just a local brand. So
Right.
while I feel like I want to do impactful things in my community, I also want to reach a bigger audience. And that's that doesn't mean that anybody is not important or is important. I just know that I could speak to anybody across the world.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to limit myself to just one audience. So for me, I look at where are the platforms that I could get on, who would benefit from the information that I'm putting out there. I think that I just have a global brand. And so I look at myself as a global brand. Like when I think about being online, when I think about getting in spaces, then I'm thinking, who are those people that are out there that could benefit from this information? How can I make an impact, and how can I get to those people? And how can I create products like my book or my ICA tool or whatever it is that I'm doing to inspire people? Because I'm really trying to get people to get closer to their purpose,
Right.
and feel empowered.
Okay.
I just choose to do that through my own experiences, my own passion, and the things that I'm good at, which is fashion,
Okay.
right? Or
Yeah.
color. Those are directly connected to my experience. But the real heart of what I'm trying to do is get people closer to their purpose and their highest possibility. The reason why God put them on the planet.
Right.
I just do it uniquely in my own way.
That's a fact. You're doing a great job at that too.
Well, thank you.
Okay, so how did you get infatuated? When did you realize that you was infatuated with the color schemes and the ICA tool that you're using?
That's it. That's a good question. This was, to be honest, I didn't see the path or the possibility. I did not have the vision.
Yeah.
And that's what I really want to put out there is like, I've really, the last 6, 7 years of my career, I was working in a job. And to be honest, I don't know that I really wanted that job. I didn't value it as much as I probably should have or as I do now.
Yeah.
I actually kind of envied, if you will, and this is super wow. I envied some of my colleagues that were working in that were the heads of men's and women's design and kids design, because I just thought for some reason I had the perception that color, global color, just wasn't as important as the fabrics, designs, and kind of how to lead that.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that that would be connected to what I'm doing now. So I actually, to be honest, overlooked it. I took it off my resume. I kind of glossed over it and was like, yo, I just want to focus and say I was in trend forecasting. It wasn't something that I was like, I was in trend forecasting on that team, but I was over global color, and I was studying color psychology. Like, I overlooked it so much. And I just really thank God that I'm a purposefully driven person. So I left the industry. I actually dealt with some health challenges myself. I moved back to Iowa. I ended up taking a role at a global or at a regional chamber.
Yeah.
And working with leaders. And it was real interesting because leaders kept coming up to me and saying, hey, you're a good presenter, or, you're good at communications,
Right.
or, you always wear colors or things that kind of catch people's attention. Like, how do you do, like, teach me some of that. And I don't believe that people really are looking to me to be like a style expert or be like their style guide. I think they're looking to me because from New York and from, really doing work in terms of my identity, I think my confidence, especially on stage, which I don't have all the time, really comes from a freedom of being able to show up as who I am. And so I think what people really want from me is not for me to style them, but they want the freedom that I have. And I think how I felt like I could give them that empowerment and that freedom was to dig down into their own identity and get and understand some color psychology. Like, you're not going to get off on the same things I get off on. You're not going to wear the same things. Your color is not going to be my color. You know what I mean? So how can I give you the tools so that you can be free yourself and show up the way you want to show up? And so what led me to that, once I got there, I was like, yo, I got 6-7 years in color psychology. Like, why am I not using that?
Yeah.
And so, like I said, it was dead in the water when I left New York. You know what I mean? And for it to come back full circle, me and God laugh about it every day because I thought it was wasted, but nothing's ever wasted. And I think when we're looking for our purpose, then you got to look at the cues. You got to look at the patterns of your life and figure out how they fit into what you're doing in the season that you're in now. And that's all that happened.
All right. Okay. So with that being said, what inspired your book, The Artist Showing Up style? Like, is that hand in hand with the color schemes, or is that just being a responsible person showing up for events and doing things that you're supposed to do?
I think that the art of showing up in style is a cumulative book, or it's cumulative knowledge of my experience, right? So I think some of so I've gotten some comments, and some of the disappointment is like, just give us the trends, or just tell us what to wear, or just tell us like the new thing that's going to be in style. And the book is actually not that at all. Like, it has some of that in there, but it was surprising to some people that I was talking about presentation. I was talking about reading the room. I was talking about communications aspect. I was talking about color psychology. I really was thinking about what are the things that, because when I got, the last 3 years have been really difficult for me. I came into, like I said, after my health challenges, I was really depressed. And so dealing with the depression, dealing with my own identity crisis, dealing with my own health challenges, I really was like, yo, I know that I have done retreats. I've written books. I have worked in the industry. I have experience. Like, I have some knowledge that I can give to myself that can inspire me and to help me show up. And so what people were responding to while I was in the midst or feeling like I was at my lowest was actually these strategies that I was using on myself. So I was like, okay, well, if it's beneficial for you, let me put it in a book. So this is 25 strategies on how to show up and command any room. So that's really where the book came from.
Okay.
And then, like I said, since I had worked in the fashion industry for so long, then it just naturally included style. It naturally included color psychology. It naturally included the fact that when I started my business 10 years ago, I was an identity coach. So it naturally included the things that I know I'm good at,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Or the things that I had experience in.
Right.
And so putting all those things together led me to my next step in purpose.
Right. So saying that, how does it feel like to reciprocate that love to the kids that y'all help see those fashions, like help them do the fashion things and the learn camera tricks and all the things that y'all are doing in this building?
So you're actually talking about the Hype Academy. So one of
I
the
mean, the Hype
things,
Academy. Sorry
yeah,
about that.
no, it's okay.
Yeah.
So the Hype Academy is something that I created, and it really is about design, media, and marketing.
Mhm.
Right. And so what we did in terms of the Hype Academy was we created a digital magazine. And I felt like creating a digital magazine could actually embody storytelling. It could embody them learning about design,
Yeah.
learning about using their voice, learning about how to show up and advocate for themselves,
Mhm.
learning creative aspects that I didn't feel like I had when I was here.
Right.
And so for me, I just kind of looked around to see the other great programs that are out there. And I felt like my contribution could be unique in that space. So that's the reason why I started that program. I had some really great support. From the community, like Nia Wilder came, she taught. Joshua Mitchell came, he taught.
Yeah.
Lyrical came, they taught. So it was Mr. Sutherland. Carrie Sutherland is one of our board presidents. So it was people from the community that actually saw the vision.
Yeah.
They work in those areas and they cared about the youth in a way that they were like, yo, how can we give our skills, our talent? I wanted to give my skills, my talent back to the community. And so we came together, we did the pilot this summer, and then we're coming back with another, the next level of programming in the spring.
Okay, that's really big for y'all. Shout out to all those people that helped with that too.
Yes, for
Okay,
sure.
so
I didn't do it alone. Let me tell you, they showed up and, I kind of set the vision. They came in and brought their purpose, their skill set, their
yeah,
experience, and they brought it to life with me. You know
yeah,
what I mean? For
most
sure.
definitely gonna show some of that because I really respect that type of love and giving back to the kids is a big thing. When you learn these type of things and you can teach somebody and you see they grasping it, that's like a big like sigh of relief. Like I'm showing you something other than the streets or being involved in doing something that you don't have to do. You're doing something that can help you and benefit you in the long run. So I think that's dope, and I appreciate y'all for that program.
Well, thank you. I think it's also important to see representation,
Yeah.
right? So, like to see people that look like you doing things that you are interested in doing. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I think, I when I first started my business, I came back and did a retreat here called the I Am Retreat. And one of my goals was to bring people in different industries, working in those industries professionally, but women of color that could come back and just show our kids, just be an example that,
Yeah.
hey, if you want to go down this road, I actually have a career. Like it's possible for you.
Right.
And I think that the Hype Academy is a continuation of that. Yes, it's a platform where kids can use their voice and they learn these different skill sets, but it's really about how can I really connect myself with something that I'm interested in
Right.
and see it as a career.
Yeah.
The people that I chose to be in it, they are entrepreneurs. They're teaching at college level. They have jobs for it. I went down the career route when I went to New York. I was working for corporate companies. Nia, she was teaching at Hawkeye.
Yep.
Different. So I wanted them to see that, like, not only could you go down this path, but you could go down this path in a variety of different ways, and you could see somebody that's doing it, and so you could see yourself doing it. I think that's super important.
Right. That's how I felt when I started at Hawkeye. Nia was my instructor. So like, and I seen Josh there a couple of times too. So it was just like me going to Hawkeye and opening my eyes up to all the things that I never knew that was here that I thought I
Right.
had to go other places to get. And I was like, dang, it's right here and we don't even know about that. So I wanted to
Exactly.
bring that back too and get kids to open their eyes up to doing something that you really do every day that you can do and get paid for it. Like that's
Exactly.
something like I be trying to open up to my kids. Like y'all do this every day. Why don't y'all try to do this and get paid for it? Like, doing what you love to do, get paid for it, is the best thing you probably ever do in your life. Like,
Absolutely. And I think just like I look at myself as a global brand, or
yeah,
really what I'm saying is that we have a global like platform economy.
yeah,
You know, when I first, and I'm going to age myself here, but when I first started sewing, and designing clothes, like I was doing that in my basement, and I didn't have social media. You know
yeah,
what I mean? So like I didn't have the ability to say, "Hey, I'm gonna put this out and sell it for $100, $200, $1,000." You know
right,
what I mean? But these kids, they do. They
yep,
have a global marketplace. They
yeah,
don't just have to focus on what's here. So
hmm
I felt compelled to say, okay, if I need to get out of Iowa, how can I get to where it's happening? And so that's what took me and drove me to New York City.
okay,
I'm not saying that kids can't go to other places for other opportunities, but right now you can start, like you said, with your phone that's in your hand.
right,
You can start with the things that you're doing in your spare time, and you can actually monetize those things,
yep,
and you can access people that are all over the globe that can buy those products. And that's the thing that I want to keep in the forefront of my business.
yeah.
And I want to teach those kids to understand that they have access to it too.
And networking is so important because you can meet people that you never knew that want to see you win more than people you knew your whole life. So that
Absolutely.
is something I learned over the course of the like going through college. Like, and I just finished, and so it's hitting me now that this is over, and I gotta step into the next steps of my field in this career. So now it's like a sigh of relief, like, but now it's like a anxiety of getting back to finding what I mean, the next thing that I can grasp onto that's gonna help me further my career instead of making me at a standstill.
But that anxiety, let me say, is natural.
Yeah.
I don't think that, and let's just break down the walls of success, right?
hmm
The walls of success, and the image of success is that it's linear, that you're
Right.
just going from plateau, you going from glory to glory to glory, and that's not how success, in my opinion, works at all.
No, you gotta
Like
hit that little low,
all the
the roller
time,
coaster. It gotta be
it's
this.
always up and down. Like I
Some
feel
people
like
can get it to go straight up, but it's not.
nobody.
It's not
I don't
wrong.
believe that.
It's,
Nobody's going straight up. You may see their wins and it
yeah.
looks like that, but for every win that you see, I
Oh man.
have 45 no's.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying? I
Oh yeah.
have
Talk
three
about that.
people that told me it's not worth it. You should just go and style somebody for $50 an hour versus trying to create a new tool. Like, you have people that try to discourage you. You have beliefs yourself that try to limit you, right? You have a variety of things that make you feel like things are not possible. So that every success story has ups and downs. Just because you don't see them doesn't mean it's not happening. And I
Right.
feel like for me, even coming here, you know what I mean? When I left my last job, as the communications director, it was a lot of people that still to this day, that's like, oh, well, she not on the news anymore, or she failed from her opportunity,
right.
or I don't want to talk to her anymore, or whatever, or I can't, let me put it this way, I can't get something from the position that she's in. And I feel like that was a low for me. That was another low. But I think pressure makes diamonds.
Right.
And so what it caused me to do is go inward and say, how can I use this experience? How can I use everything that God has given me in order to create something that's even more purposeful? And I think I know that that's what I'm doing right now. My brand, The Art of Showing Up, is a cumulative brand. It's not just about fashion. It's not just about communication. It's about all the gifts that I bring to the table, all of the knowledge, the experience that I bring to the table, the
Right.
passions I bring to the table, so that I could benefit other people. And I feel like that's how you find purpose. And I'm encouraging everybody else to do the same. Like, just don't stay in that anxious place.
Yeah.
Don't stay in that low place. Just
Yeah.
use that as motivation to get to the next place.
Right. Appreciate it. That's big too because, like I said, that was my intentions when I went to college, is to record music. And then when I got my hands on the camera and I started learning it, and I got this like seeing like, because I'm a music head, so I love this part of learning something new, because this one changed my life to where I can do something positive, and it's not like I don't want to even bring that up, but it is what it is. But it's not gang related and it's not drug related or none of that type of thing. This is something I can do something positive with, and I want to show the positive side of what I do too. I'm not just a negative person that does those things. I also do positive stuff too, and I want to always show my kids I'm not just that person that they knew that the rapper or what I was. I wanted them to see that it's more to life than just that of me too. So that was one of the biggest things why I went to college and wanted to do something different too.
And I think that that happens, right? When I left New York, I one of the reasons why I felt so depressed and sad and anxious is because I felt the same way you did. You know,
Yeah,
I was like, what am I gonna do now? Like I
right.
was so used to being in the fashion industry. I used to love my job, you know, and now I am leaving the city that really I spent most of my adult life.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I'm leaving the industry that I've been in for most of my adult life. You know what
right,
I mean? Like, what am I going to do? But I think that just like you said around you discovered that you're multidimensional, right?
yeah,
And so the music actually led to the video. Like for me, it was like, okay, what else am I good at?
right.
What I'm good at is I'm good at communications. I'm
Yeah,
great. One of the things that people always gave me feedback on, especially in my corporate jobs, were like, you're an excellent presenter. You could present whatever. And some of that came because I was a spoken word artist.
right.
So I was really good at memorizing my scripts. You know what I'm saying? I was
Yeah.
good at like adding all the storytelling to the thing. You know, so in my corporate roles, they would be like, yeah, you brought this to life.
Right, you
You know,
killing
and I'm
it.
like, okay, so I'm good at that. You know, I knew that I was good at branding and I had an opportunity to work in the marketing world. So I was like, okay, so branding, marketing, communications, if I have to leave fashion, then what is the next thing? And so there's always anxiety when you are in discovery mode.
Right,
But that doesn't necessarily mean it's done for you. And like
right.
just the way that God brought it back around for me, I did that for 2 years. And then God was like, yeah, you thought that fashion, that color was gone. You threw that away.
Yeah,
But like I said, nothing is ever wasted. And so it
no,
came back around. And now with this new book is communications, it's marketing, branding,
yeah,
fashion, and color. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So like, and that creates the unique purpose that you have. That's why you don't have any competition,
right.
because the way your experience is,
No,
your heart, the way that you want to, reflect
yeah,
purpose and God in the world is going to be totally different than somebody else that was interested in music and then found video and then now they love supporting kids and they brought it all together. Like
yeah,
that's going to be your unique expression and that's your purpose. So
right,
instead of like looking at other people being jealous, I see so much like comparison out here, and
yeah,
comparison is the thief of joy.
yeah. That's how they turn people against each other too.
It
Like they be
does.
like, oh, who would you rather have shoot your video, this person or that person? And then it like divides that one little comment divides two people that probably was cool with each other, and now they both looking at each other as competition instead of complimenting each other. Or if we work together and make this like this scene, like Waterloo got so much talent and so much different aspects of talent. It is crazy. Like because I know a lot of people personally, like Lyrical, like I work with bro all the time. Like we from the music side to the video side, me and him can talk. Because when I started, he like, yes, bro, I'm glad you do this because now I got somebody else I can share these
Oh
thoughts with.
yeah.
Because like I felt the same way. Like all my homies don't know nothing about this video stuff. Like they know about the music side, but not this side. So when I be talking about stuff, they looking at me like, bro, what is you talking about? Like so when you meet somebody in the field that you're in and y'all can share them things instead of being competition, it feels like so good like to have that person like, oh yeah, you taught me this, but I can show you this too. And we can teach each other and bounce them things back and forth from each other instead of trying to keep this. Oh, I ain't gonna teach him this because it's gonna help him get better than me. No, we keep it like, yeah, here you go, bro. Here you go, bro. Like keep it going like that.
And let me shout out for real to Lyrical,
No, facts, bro. A big
because
commodity in the city.
Lyrical, even in my, I'm not in videography. I don't have I'm not in music. I'm not in videography. I'm not
Yeah,
in production. But I feel like since I've been here, he's been one of the most consistent supporters and creatives um, that I've encountered.
facts, facts.
Just like the realest. Like there is
So much he got his hands in.
well, it's not even being inspired by his journey, but I'm inspired by his generosity.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like the way that he doesn't pin himself against me or somebody else. He's never told me anything negative about anybody in this community. He like, hey, if I'm not available, you can call this person, this person, this person, this person.
Yep.
And hey, I just learned this AI tool. Let me share it with you and teach you how to do it. Like, he is not a gatekeeper,
Right.
and he's not a person that's like that's stuck in that like comparison small town mentality.
No,
You know what I mean? And
he's
I
way
think,
outside of this. Like,
yeah.
he was
And
one of the first person I actually see like manifest their life into what it is right now. Because, like I said, that's who I first started recording with, and when he was in the basement. So we started from the basement. He told me, I'm gonna get to the BET Awards. I'm gonna get to this. I'm gonna make my own studio. I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that.
and he did
And
it.
he did it. Like, I watched it. Like, I seen the whole process. So I always show bro love, and I'm always gonna give him his props because, like, I actually seen him manifest this and how he grinds and how he works. Like, it's this crazy. I never seen nothing like it. So I always give bro his credit, and I'm always gonna give him his shots out too. So shout out Lyric Cow,
Shout out
man.
to Lyrical for
Keep doing your
sure. I
thing, bro.
think, like I said, I'm inspired by his generosity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's never been a moment that I was like, hey, I want to learn how to be a better editor.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, I'll show you. Like, it's never any gatekeeping, you know? And
Okay, just come through. Like,
I think we can learn from that. The reason why I'm really highlighting him is not only because he's the homie, but and that, like, a really genuine person and supporter and creative out here, but also because like, I think his confidence comes from the fact that, like, internally knowing I'm dope.
yeah.
And not doper than anybody else, but like, this is my lane. And that's really what I'm trying to get to when it comes to purpose.
Yeah.
Like, somebody could absolutely say, you know, and I've had people do it, you know, where they're like, oh, she did this and it worked. Cool. I'm gonna take that whole idea and do it over here. Or I'm gonna do this whole thing over here. And the reality is that it doesn't matter if somebody's really trying to take your idea, because they're never going to do it the way that you do it.
Right.
They're never going to have the perspective that you have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when I was the first 2.5 years that I've been here, like I said, I was going through I am going through my own health stuff. I'm going through my own sense of depression, my own anxiety, my own variety of rock bottom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so for me, I have a passion for people that are in the midst of a transition,
Right.
that are trying to get to that next level. That's like you said, just graduated and now I got anxiety because I don't know what I'm gonna do next. I have a passion for them. Whereas that person next to me, they could try to make it stylish. They could try to use red if they want in their brand. They could try to do the same things, but it's never going to come out the way that it's going to come out for me, because they're not motivated with the same passion, the same experiences, the same lows that I had, the same highs that I had, the experience. So like, I really, bottom line, we don't have to have this limited mindset. I'm really trying to encourage everybody to understand that it's a big world out here.
Right.
And if you would stop thinking about the 120 people and the 120,000 people in Waterloo Cedar Falls, and you start thinking about the 9 billion people on the planet, then you wouldn't necessarily feel like you had to tear another person down as much as I think we do in smaller communities, if that makes sense. That crab in the barrel mentality is killing us.
It is here, but like we say, we all want that feeling. Like, of course, like, we all want to see Waterloo shine. Like, and that was one of my weaknesses. I'm always gonna be Waterloo, or no matter what. No, what else? Waterloo. Then I had to open my eyes. Like, it's bigger than Waterloo. Like, the networking is like way outside of Waterloo, that we can make it happen without just being so Waterloo mindset.
And I want to challenge, you know, because I've had some debates and I've had some criticism for leaving Waterloo and going to New York and then coming back and now,
Oh no,
you
it
know,
shouldn't be
doing
nothing wrong
things.
with that.
Yeah, I want to challenge the idea that
should be the challenge. Get up out of here and do something. Try something.
And to give back. You know what I'm saying? Think
most definitely
about
gonna come back and bring that.
it doesn't have to be one or the other. Like, how can we think from an abundance mindset? It could be a both and, not a either or.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
There are people that leave and expand and do business outside of here that's able to contribute in a way.
Yep.
And there are people that stay and that are grounded, that are doing the work from the ground up, that can contribute in a different way. And I think that we all have a valuable contribution based off of our experiences and based off of like I said, our talents, our purpose, and all of them matter.
Right.
And all of them can be valuable. And so this idea, I saw some of that on social media where people are like, oh, leaving and you betrayed Waterloo. You could still have love in your heart for Waterloo and still understand that with the internet, with social media, with digital marketing,
Mm-hmm.
with the way that the world is set up right now, you can serve people here and you can serve people in Ghana. You know what I'm saying? My
Right.
developers right now are in all over the world. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So the people that I'm working with are able to give me different perspectives that are able to speak to different audiences. And I just think that we just don't have to fight over the 125,000 people that are here. We can serve them and also serve the bigger market.
That's a fact. So, is there anything else you want to touch bases on before we get up out of here?
No, actually, thank you so much for for inviting me. I think this has been a really great conversation. I would say that I hope that somebody, my whole basis is purpose. My purpose is to help others find their purpose, and it doesn't always look like us. It's never going to look the way that somebody else, a pastor or somebody else, is doing it.
Right.
It's going to look the way that Nicole is uniquely created and designed to do it. And that may be stylish, that may be fashionable, that may be color psychology.
Yeah.
But really, I'm just trying to give people the tools so that they can show up in their own power and do what God created them to do. That is my bottom line with everything that I do. Don't ever forget it. And if you want some more of that, then come to my website at NicoleSallis.com.
All right. All right. Thank you.